Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. It's actually nonprofit night tonight on the Pete Mezzetti Show. And with me to discuss what's going on with Goodwill Southeastern New England is the president of Goodwill Southeastern New England, Rich Borer. Rich.
Nice to see you.
You too, my friend. Good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been, I think, a little less than a year, but I think I was here at this time last year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So what's new?
Well, you know, since you and I spoke last time, you know, that merger that we talked about originally, maybe for your viewers, I'll explain what we were talking about last December.
Absolutely.
But at that time, a lot of things were going on. We were going through a name change because we used to be Easter Seals Goodwill Industries Rehabilitation Center, Inc. So it was three organizations. That was a historic merger that took place in the 60s that created that entity. Right. And so now over the last year, we've merged with the Rhode Island Goodwill. Yeah. And so that took place about a year ago. So we changed our name at that time to be more applicable to what we're doing, which is we're running Goodwill in our portion of Connecticut and in Rhode Island. So it's Goodwill of Southern New England is what our name is. And so that's been going really well since I saw you last. We basically have opened up a store. One of the stores is in South Attleboro, Massachusetts, which is right next to Providence. But it was a former Goodwill store that we continued to run. Okay. And that's going really well. Cool. And we are currently negotiating for 2 locations to open up 2 stores over the next 3 to 6 months. Okay. That'll be located in Rhode Island. One is in Bristol and the other is in Warwick. And so we're really, excited about the growth. And currently in the state of Rhode Island, there are no Goodwill stores. So we're kind of excited about the fact that we can open up some Goodwill stores in Rhode Island. And that'll be happening over the next couple of months.
There are no Goodwill stores in Rhode Island?
Yeah, for some reason, the Goodwill agency that was in Rhode Island, they were a workforce development board with a very long history. They actually, the name of the organization when it started in 1865, it was called the Irrepressible Society. Don't ask me to spell it. Okay. All right. But the Irrepressible Society was an organization that was people that owned large companies in large organizations in Providence during 1865. Sure. Their families, their wives, all their family members all got together to start a nonprofit to help returning Civil War veterans that are coming back from fighting in the Civil War to Providence, Rhode Island. And so they were collecting clothes, they were collecting food, they were doing like workforce development, trying to create jobs. So this agency started back then. It's such an amazing history, to think that now we've merged with them and our organization now has that in our DNA. It's kind of exciting.
It is.
It really is.
So tell us a little bit about your background and how you became president of...
Sure. So, well, my background's kind of interesting. So,
I know a little bit about it. If you had
asked me back when I was in high school, my family started an ice cream manufacturing company. And so my father started a company that made ice cream. Okay. After high school, I went to Rutgers Dairy School. And I was all prepared to be the Dairy King, right? Or something, But it's funny. Then as time goes on, I have 8 brothers and sisters. Okay. And we were all running the business. And when my father was getting ready to sell the business, he had said to everyone, we ran it like a farm, so we would have breakfast like 5 in the morning every morning. And my father, said, we're going to sell the business. And I said to my dad, because I was kind of running it at the time, I had said, Dad, why don't you just, sell it to me or give it to me, and I'll continue, running our organization. Right. And my dad at that time had said, Rich, there's 8 of you, and I love you all, and I can't just give it to one, even though you're the one that's kind of running it. Right. So I said, well, Dad, if you're not going to, let me run it, then then I probably can't continue to work here. And so what happened was the company was sold to American Frozen Foods. Okay. my father and my mother were very, generous to spreading all the resources to the rest of the family. And there was one morning when American Frozen Foods came to our family meeting, which was just a big house next to the factory.
Okay.
And they had said to everybody around the table, well, we would like, you to run the manufacturing, and we'd like you to be the truck driver, and we'd like you to this. And they got to me and they said, and Rich, we would like you to manage the operations for this company as you have been. And so all of my brothers and sisters said, yeah, we'll come to work for American Frozen Foods. And when they got to me, I said, no, I'm not interested. And so my brother turns to me and says, well, this is what you've been doing your whole life. This is what you've been trained for. What are you going to do? And so I said, well, I'm going to run for mayor. And my brother spit his juice out across the room, and everybody was like, you're going to what? I was, 28 years old.
Yeah.
And I ran for mayor. and I lost the first one. Actually, I lost the second one. But when I was 34, I was elected mayor of the city of West Haven.
There you go.
And I served for 14 years, and I was reelected for 7 terms.
Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it was really good. And it was a different day than it is today. Local and national politics is not like it used to be. I mean, you could disagree with people in the past, but you could still, go have a cup of coffee, go hang out, go get a beer or something.
Absolutely.
People that they did their thing, we did ours, but you didn't not like them, because of that. And that's the world today that I'm glad I'm not in that anymore.
No.
And so then after 14 years, I got a call from Easter Seals Goodwill Industries Rehabilitation Center, and they asked if I would apply for the position. And so I've been there now 15 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Long answer to your question.
That's okay. We like the long answer to the question, but that's okay. But I do understand where you're coming from on the political aspect of things.
Yeah.
My mom recently retired a couple years ago, but before that she was an elected official in the town of Clinton. So I was son of an elected official for 32, 33 years. It's
wow.
And things have changed over the years.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So, my timing was good for that because I was involved, I was engaged, I really enjoyed it. I played, with regards to politics. Played's not the right word, but I was engaged in national politics, local politics, international politics. I was very, very lucky to be on the board of directors for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I was involved with the National League of Cities. I flew to China, Japan, Europe, representing this country and mayors around the world. And I also hosted mayors from around the world. So it was a wonderful training opportunity for me, for my skill set, but especially for what I do
Exactly.
now.
Exactly. So how busy and how big of an organization is Goodwill Southern New England?
Goodwill of Southern New England. So we are we're a $30 million organization.
Oh, wow.
We have about 500 employees. And we certainly have our challenges, which I hope we get into and discuss a little bit later.
Absolutely.
But so we run a chain of retail stores. We call them donated goods stores because people donate.
Absolutely.
And then we have people that have barriers to work help us to process those donations, get them on the floor, sell those donations, and then the proceeds of those donations go right back into communities that the donations came from with job opportunities, employment, and training and programming. So we've grown over the years. We tried to make our retail experience, pleasant one.
Absolutely.
And kind of like a TJ Maxx kind of a thing. We've stepped up our game, so to speak.
Not
only on the locations of where the stores are, but how we process, how we run the products, and how we, price the product. Before I came here, I stopped at our Clinton store because I had a few minutes.
There you go.
The store is full of great Christmas gifts and Christmas stuff, and that store does really well.
Does it?
Yeah, and in spite of the fact that typically, the corridor of that Boston Post Road might not be where a lot of major retailers want to go.
Exactly.
It's kind of a local, there is a Stop and Shop and there's some other smaller shops.
Absolutely.
But that store does great. We have great community support from the people that live within the Clinton general area.
Yes.
And they make great donations, and then we price that stuff and put it on the floor. So for example, tonight the store was packed with people that want to decorate their homes but don't want to spend, the big bucks that you would have to spend at a major retailer.
Exactly.
So, for dollars, you could decorate your house with lights, and we test the lights, make sure they work. You can get artificial Christmas tree. I saw in the Clinton store it was loaded with wreaths.
Wow.
And there's a lot of other displays and other things that you could get. And one of the most interesting things that's been taking place more recently is that a lot of the younger people, the millennials, and they think thrifting and gifting kind of goes together.
Right.
Where other older generations, like mine, might not think, well, let me get somebody something that's used.
Right.
Where currently, today, there's a lot of younger people, particularly on the West Coast, but it has come here now to the East Coast, where they get something unique and something fun and something cherished, that has a great value, and they'll go thrifting and they'll go Christmas gifting.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
There you go. And so you guys obviously have stores all over the state of Connecticut, not just here in the Clinton area.
We do, yep. So our largest stores are like in Groton, Norwich. As I mentioned, we have a South Attleboro store. We have a store in Hamden. We have a store in Orange. Let's see, Brantford. We have a store in Brantford. So we have 15 stores.
Wow.
We also have an outlet store where everything that was for sale in our store, we have a 3-week rotation. If it doesn't sell within 3 weeks, it's the last week it's for half off.
Yeah.
And on the last day it's like for $1.
Right.
And if it still doesn't sell, it goes to our outlet store, which is on State Street in Hamden.
Sure.
And it's put there at a greatly reduced price because we want to be, good stewards of the donations.
Absolutely.
And we throw very little away. Everything gets reused and repurposed. So we're really excited about how we do that. And so everything goes back to the outlet. If it doesn't sell in the outlet, then everything gets broken down into its raw material. So if it's a lamp, we take the copper from the wire, we strip that, and we put it in with copper. Aluminum goes with aluminum. Everything gets separated out before we either sell that resource, or ultimately what we have to throw out is greatly reduced because we separate it and we have a market for everything: glass, paper,
holy cow,
plastic. Yeah, so it's we're really good stewards of the donation, but our first goal is to try to sell that item and get it back, to be reused and repurposed.
Absolutely. You guys are a very busy organization.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing it. The people that work for us are very, very dedicated to the mission of helping people that have barriers to work and people with disabilities, but also, the social enterprise of how we do what we do.
Yeah.
We really dig what we do.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Oh, I would love to.
We'll be right back.
Get it. Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Rich Borer from Goodwill, Southern New England. Rich, welcome back.
Thank you. It's
Thank
great
you.
to be here.
Thanks for sticking around. So we in the break we saw a PSA about Goodwill. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about the PSA we just saw?
So that clip, and thank you for playing that.
Not a problem.
That clip is called Bring Good Home.
Okay.
And every year, we try to be innovative in how we do our marketing and get our word out.
Right.
And so it's done nationally. So that ad, and that campaign is through the National Ad Council.
Okay, sure.
And so they're the same ones that do the Boy Scouts. They do Smokey the Bear, Keep America,
Yep.
beautiful. So so we're proud of the fact that they chose Goodwill as being in that world,
Right.
and helping us to get our message out. And so, as you can see, everybody, so excited in the clip about, somebody buying something. Well, my staff is the same way like that. It's that kind of energy and that kind of enthusiasm, when something is donated in the back of the store, and it's usually coming, like in a big plastic bag or something like that. We'll take, we start to separate it, and the shoes will go with the shoes, the books will go with the books. There will be things that are quite unique there, and you never know what it's going to be. So our staff is, really has the expertise of trying to figure out what is the value, and what is the stuff that would be, $2.99, and what is the more expensive stuff.
Right.
We recently had a donation of a painting that my staff was just so really good, and this was in the Groton store, but they were so good at identifying the painting. We haven't gotten the value on it yet, but there's a French impressionist at the turn of the century named Pierre Bernard.
Okay.
And one of my employees, was going through the donations, and he looked and he goes, "Oh my goodness, this is a really old frame." It usually starts with that.
Right.
Then he says, and this is like a real painting. Then he looked at the signature and says, "Pierre Bernard, you better look that one up." And so we actually have Christie's looking at it now to see, what it possibly could be with. But it was probably like a returning soldier from Europe, turn of the century, probably World War I.
Yeah.
And picked up this painting, and then it was in the family's house, and they took all the paintings with everything. And
Yeah,
just
there
brought
you
it
go.
in. So we don't know, but it's
off.
just an example
Right.
of trying to identify. We get a lot of like Lionel trains and other Hot Wheel cars,
Really?
G.I. Joes, Barbie dolls.
Wow.
These things, that are from the 60s and maybe even earlier, have tremendous value. So we want to make sure that we're good stewards of that. So anything like that, we would do our research on it, and then we would probably sell it online on what we call shopgoodwill.com. So if any of your viewers would be interested in clicking on that, I think they'd find it really interesting, because you could really plug in anything that you collect or did collect, or maybe you had as a child or something, and say, I wonder if this toy or this thing, this G.I. Joe is still available. You go to shopgoodwill.com, you plug it in the search engine, and I'm willing to bet you're going to see some variation of that.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of fun.
Cool.
And we have a whole staff of people that does our online, that they do our online sales. And so we have, musical instruments really sell quite well online. Jewelry sells great online. The number one thing online is used books, so we sell a lot of used books online.
Cool.
And it's all people, with disabilities that are helping us process this information, putting it on the shelf, when somebody orders it, taking it off the shelf, packing it, and shipping it.
Cool.
And so we're creating jobs, as that PSA had said, donate stuff, create jobs. And so it's great. It's a lot of fun.
You know what else we're going to talk about? So we talked about donating stuff, creating jobs, and all the stuff that the Goodwill does.
Yeah.
But we also want to I want to tie in right now a little bit of fun that Goodwill does. When I think fun, I think holiday. When I think holiday, I think lights.
Okay.
Help me here, Rich.
Yeah, okay. That is our largest fundraiser.
Okay.
For all your viewers, it's called Fantasy of Lights.
Yes.
It's at Lighthouse Park in New Haven. We opened up on November 16th of this year, 2019, and it'll go right up until the end of the year, till New Year's Day.
Okay.
So it's the 25th anniversary of Fantasy of Lights.
Really?
And so it is, and we have a wonderful partnership with various organizations. First and foremost would be the City of New Haven for allowing us to be there.
Absolutely.
We pay the light bill, but they allow us to use the mile-long track.
Yes.
And if you were there the other night, you probably saw 600 cars all in line, ready to go through Fantasy of Lights. The New Haven Symphony has done the soundtrack, so if you tuned into the radio when you were there, you heard that sound. It's all through volunteers. The building trades, the operating engineers, the electrical union, all of the building trades really help us throughout the year to keep the displays in good shape, but also then to put up all the displays. And so the operating engineers will be there with cranes, because some of the displays are as big as this room,
Really?
and they'll put them
Yeah.
all up. The electrical union, make sure it's all wired and safe. And then we have volunteers every night. So this is from November 16th, for a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's a lot of nights of volunteers being out every night.
Oh, yeah.
In all types of weather.
They're probably out there tonight.
They're out there tonight.
Okay.
And it's raining here. Yeah.
It is.
But it's not that cold, but it's
No, it's-
raining. And so we have 60 displays in that mile-long track.
Okay.
And we'll raise about $150,000 a year. And so for the last 25 years, a lot of those resources has really gone to do a lot of good.
Oh my God, you guys are. How do you think you're going to do this year? Well, you won't know until.
Yeah, but as you know, because you mentioned before
Yeah.
the show that you were there, my staff came to me and they said, Rich, this weekend was great. We had 600 cars on Friday,
Yeah.
700 cars on Saturday, even Sunday night was packed. So
Yeah.
here it is on a Monday, but it's going really, really well. And it's become a family tradition,
Absolutely.
the Fantasy of Lights. So, people when they were little, went with their grandparents, 25 years ago, and they still do that. And we get a lot of donations that are dedication to people in their families that used to go there, and they would make a night of it. So where else can you go for $10?
Exactly.
And, have a nice time.
And go hang out.
Probably see Santa.
Yeah.
Have some hot chocolate, go through the displays, so it's Greater New Haven family tradition around the holidays. So I'm glad you participated
Absolutely, and I'm sure you even show up maybe 1 or 2 nights.
I'm there
or,
pretty much.
or 3 or 4. Or,
in that. Yeah, I definitely try to
You're
make
there.
it as much as I can, because I want to thank the people that are giving up their nights. Some nights it's volunteer night. It might be an organization, it
Yep.
might be the gas company or the United Illuminating Company, but it could be just the Smith family.
Right.
And they go there with all their kids, and they all dress up as elves, and they spread the holiday cheer.
Yeah.
And one of the most interesting nights, that Fantasy of Lights, was when the Newtown murders took place.
Yeah.
Everything was shut down at that time, if you remember.
I do.
And I met with it was the American Ambulance AMR, American Medical Response.
Yeah.
It was their night. And I had said to the president of American Medical Response, I said, I'll leave it up to you, whatever you want to do. And he said, Rich, I really think that families need this now more than ever before. Get away from the TV, get away from the radio, and just go out and spend some quality time with people you love and go enjoy that. And so we all went down there, and I never experienced anything like that. People were all getting out of their cars, holding hands, singing.
Wow.
People, that played guitar were playing the guitar. American Medical Response was there, with all of their staff, and it was a night that I'll never forget.
Wow.
People coming together.
Absolutely.
After something so horrific.
Absolutely. And obviously, you guys are busy, depending on the evening and the weather.
Yeah. So and. Actually, when you get a little snow, it's pretty busy.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Because you don't want it to be 60 degrees and looking at Christmas tree lights.
No.
So a little
Or you don't
cold, a
want
little
it-
windy is not bad.
Or you don't want it to be under 18 inches of snow.
Yeah, that's true too.
Now, what are the hours of Fantasy of Lights?
So it opens up at 5,
Okay.
and it closes Monday through Friday. I should say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we close at 9.
Okay.
But for Friday,
Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we stay open till 10.
Okay.
Yep. And please come and visit and have a great time.
And it's in all the years you've been doing it, have you ever had to cancel it because of the weather?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We only close if the city of New Haven tells us it's too
They make the
dangerous.
executive decision?
They make the decision, and
Okay.
we adhere to whatever they say. But all of the lamps are now a little bit more brighter, a little bit more vibrant. They're all LED bulbs.
Yep, I saw that.
So our bill went down for our electrical utilization.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but and the bulbs are more vibrant.
Oh, nice.
All of
Nice.
the, and so it took a lot of work to redo
Nice.
hundreds of thousands of light bulbs.
Absolutely.
But we did it all. Yeah.
And from what I hear, in the city of New Haven, we have a new mayor.
Right. And
I haven't met him yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I haven't either,
I
and
haven't
I'm
met him
kind of
yet.
looking forward to it because we do so much work in the city of New Haven.
Yeah.
Not only is it our number one area of population for people that we serve. But one of the programs that we fully fund is our community reentry program.
Okay.
And these were people that were incarcerated that before they're released, we have a team of people that will go and see them. And actually, we were just on the Today Show and Good Morning America 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You were?
For one of our clients, wrote a book. This individual was incarcerated for 20 years. He got out of prison and he was looking for a job. And we, at that time, 10 years ago, were just starting our community reentry program. And so we wanted people that had a record to give, if you were in prison and somebody was going to come and see you, so it's legit, you know,
Okay.
like somebody walked in your steps, somebody wore your shoes,
Right.
somebody was in that cell, and there is a life after, so they make better choices when they get out. And his name is William Outlaw. That's my employee's name.
Okay.
So he just wrote a book.
Okay.
And I should have brought the book tonight, but you know what? Next time I'm together with you, I will bring you the book. I'll give you a copy.
I was gonna say,
It's called Citizen Outlaw.
You can also bring me the author.
You know what?
With the
Yes,
book.
Absolutely.
And you and I.
Because he was just doing a book reading at J. Julia.
R.J. Julian Madison.
He was just there last week.
Really?
Yeah, and he was on, like I said, the Today Show. Great story about
Yeah.
someone who made poor choices in their life and now is dedicated to helping people do the right thing. You know,
Really? Very
and
cool. All right,
live
well, yeah,
full,
we'll-
fulfilled, and wholesome lives.
We
And-
will do that. We got a
Yeah.
little bit more time left before we say goodnight. Website one more time.
Yeah, so Goodwill SNE. So Goodwill meaning Southern New England. So goodwillsne.org. Visit our website. You can get all the information that you need about our organization, and I hope you do.
Rich Borer from Goodwill, thanks for coming down.
Great
We'll
to
see you soon.
Pete,
You
as
too.
always.
On behalf of Rich Borer, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.